Poke Nerds, welcome in. Hopefully y'all all had a wonderful release weekend for Blackbolt and White Flare. I certainly had some fun opening up some product with friends, getting to talk to friends about what they pulled. I didn't have a ton of luck with Blackbolt and White Flare overall. Honestly, ironically enough, like I pulled two of the Musharna illustration rares, which is just like, what are the odds of pulling two of the same illustration rare in a set that has like 70 illustration rares or something like that? Obviously, this one's from Blackbolt. Probably my favorite card I pulled is Beartick, which is not one of the chase cards for me of the set at all, but I just think it's a nice card. I also got the Cub Fu Master Ball, so those kind of like pair well together. And this is a nice art. It is. There's a ton of really nice arts in this set overall. It's a really beautiful set. There's no question about it. But I didn't have a ton of luck. Didn't pull a special illustration rare I was looking for. Didn't pull any of the nice full arts. Didn't pull any of the illustration rares I really wanted. But that's okay, right? You're not always going to get what you're looking for, especially release weekend. I feel fortunate that I was able to open up a good amount of product. I was able to pull about the average amount of illustration rares from the product that I was able to open. Tons of Pokeballs, Master Ball. So it all went pretty much how it should go. It's just like I didn't get to pull any of my favorite illustration rares, and I didn't get lucky enough to pull a special illustration rare or a BWR rarity card, obviously. Hopefully one of y'all out there was able to pull a BWR. But I did open some 151 yesterday because I was feeling a little bit like, let down, quite frankly, because I didn't really pull anything that I was fired up about from Blackbolt or White Flare. Did open up 8 packs of 151. And it was good. It was very good. This guy saved my weekend. Blastoise. This guy saved my weekend. Right? Absolutely love that Blastoise special illustration rare. Now, I will say, the color scheme leaves a little bit to be desired. It's all blue, right? It's cool. It's beautiful. Texture's awesome. It's Blastoise. Can't beat it, but it is all blue. I like the cards that have a little bit more color pop to them, especially the special illustration rares, because the textures can really hit with all those different colors. But right now, we're not here to talk about 151. We're not here to talk about Blastoise too much. We're here to talk about Blackbolt and White Flare, how the market is reacting to the singles right now. And my advice is 99% of the time to not buy singles at release. Certainly not pre-release, but not at release either. Now, we're going to take a look at a bunch of the singles right now from both sets. Again, they are two different sets. You got to remember that. You're not going to get the same pulls. There's only one card that's available in both sets. It's technically a different card because it has a different number in each set, and that's the Victini BWR rare. We're going to look into all that stuff. But I do want to say, it's not a 100% fail-proof plan to always wait to buy singles. I think 99% of the time it is right and smart to wait. But there is a card that was released last year that has done nothing but gone up from the starting point. And we're going to look at that right now. It's the Greninja Special Illustration Rare EX from Twilight Masquerade. I said it last year, like right at release. I was like, I'm not paying... Because again, you got to remember last year in May, June, it was not the same type of market. Not even close. It was much more calm, much more normal. But the Greninja EX, I was like, I wouldn't buy it at 150 right now or 200. I can't remember what it was at, but that was wrong. 99% of the time you would be right to not spend as much as you possibly can on a release right after it comes out. Usually you will see a dip in the first couple months, a big dip. And there were little dips you could have gotten in on looking at this chart. But overall, I mean, it just rose and rose and rose and rose. And this was like the first huge chase card of the Scarlet and Violet era. It really was. People loved it. I love it. It's a really nice card. I still like the promo better from Shrouded. That's just me. No, it's not for everybody. That's just me. The Shrouded Fable promos are unbelievable. But This is just to say, even though I'm going to tell you you should probably wait to buy any singles, obviously it's your money, do with it what you will. I'm going to be waiting to buy any singles. If one of these cards that I really wanted just ends up going absolutely crazy, it is what it is. You also have Destined Rivals that's kind of like defying the odds right now. Destined Rivals singles are holding very strong. Despite the singles market in general being on a downtrend since earlier this year, the last few months it's been on a downtrend. I mean, even look at Greninja here from Twilight Masquerade. It was up to 410. Now it's down to 266, right? So there's different ways the market can react. And so you have to think about with Blackbolt and White Flare, is the market going to be more like Destined Rivals, our most recent set, or Journey Together? I honestly think it's going to be somewhere in between. There are so many illustration rares that they cannot all continue to hold the value that they currently hold. I do strongly believe that. Special illustration rares is a different story. There's not like an insane amount of special illustration rares. There's a good amount, but it's going to be fascinating to watch and see how this market cycle works. And anybody who tells you they know for certain is full of it, right? You shouldn't be listening to anyone who has 100% full guarantee confidence that they know what's going to happen every single time. We can say with a good amount of confidence, most of the time, cards will drop in value after release. And we have seen minor drops from some of these cards with release weekend, but let's dive into it. We'll start with the card that's available in both sets with a different number. In White Flare, the Victini BWR Rare, the fully red Victini here. Number 172 in White Flare. Listings are around $500 or more. A couple listings. I mean, are these really reputable sellers? You have 83 sales, 100% for $500. When you get to like the really, really reputable sellers, it looks like you're looking at some insane numbers. What's even crazier about this is the Blackbolt version of the same card, number 171. There's a lot more reasonable listings. So that's another reason. You have to really vet these situations. Like if you were just like, I got to get this Victini BWR, and you just went to TCG Player, clicked on the first thing you found, and you were looking on the White Flare side of it versus Blackbolt, I mean, you could end up paying way, way more than you would for the Blackbolt version. I don't know why anyone would do that, personally, when you've got some legit sellers here, way cheaper than the White Flare version. So that's something to keep in mind, folks. All right. Now we'll look at the BWR Zekrom and Reshiram. So obviously the Zekrom is from Blackbolt, and these cards do absolutely pop in person. They look way better in person than they do digitally. That is the case for a lot of cards. They're showing near mint 467 right now. And that's about right. They're, well, a couple legit sellers around that price point right here, 450 to 471, and then you're looking at clearing 500. Will these hold this high? The BWR rarities, they are extremely rare, extremely difficult to pull. Like, these are the rarest cards in Scarlet and Violet. When you're looking at a specific rarity. Now, there are sets where it's more difficult to pull like a specific special illustration rare than it is to pull the Zekrom or the Reshiram or the Victini, right? But these are about as rare as it gets. Now there's the Reshiram special illustration rare, or excuse me, EX BWR rarity. Near mint 488. There's some legit listings here around 475, but again, not a ton of them before you get to the 500 club. These two cards are absolutely gorgeous. I have not seen the Victini in person, so I can't comment on it, but I've seen the other two and they look great. I assume the Victini also looks good. I personally just think like white and black are more iconic and obviously, especially for this set, but I am interested in seeing the Victini card. So Zekrom, we've got special illustration rare here from Blackbolt. So we'll go over the Zekrom and the Reshiram special illustration rares. Then we'll focus on some cards from White Flare, and then we'll look at Blackbolt. So that's how it's going to go the rest of the way here. The Zekrom special illustration rare, damaged holofoil. Why are we getting that? What are we doing here, TCG player? What are we doing? So near mint, we are looking at legit sellers around 270, 280. It says 315 here. I don't know why it still says that. There's obviously a lot of listings a lot lower than that are reputable sellers. So yeah, it will get up there, it looks like, but there's a ton of them that are lower than that. And again, you want to have a seller that's like close to 100%, right? With a lot of sales to feel good about it. But to me, this is the much better special illustration rare between Zekrom and Reshiram. Love both Pokemon. This art just does a lot more for me personally with the lightning and the pillar, altar, whatever you want to call this, the colors in the sky. It's just beautiful compared to the Reshiram, which, you know, almost looks like a glorified full art. The illustration is much more beautiful than a full art typically would be. I'm not trying to say that, but the background just isn't as like clear as to what's exactly going on. That's just my opinion, one man's opinion. If you like this one better, good for you. That's awesome. Reshiram special illustration rare. We've got listings. Wow. Looks like the market actually agrees with me here. We've got listings way lower for this one. Around, yeah, 210. Looks like a reasonable seller. Yeah. Some much lower listings for Reshiram. So maybe that's an indicator of how the market feels here. Like I said, that's a big difference for the two stars of the show, the Zekrom and the Reshiram special illustration rare, and you know, both different forms, Reshiram and Zekrom here. And we've got a lot of cards on both sets doing really well. Hydreigon, probably my favorite special illustration rare. Maybe Keldeo might be up there as well, but this one's awesome. Again, you've got just a beautiful scene here with the storm, the rain, and the lightning. We're looking at, you know, $100 or more for the Hydreigon. I think that's honestly a reasonable price point, but again, we saw the Hydreigon from Surging Sparks go from, you know, way more expensive than this to, I think it's now in the 50s. So I really think Destined Rivals, if I had to predict, is an outlier. And I think that you're going to see prices probably fall here. We've got Hilda. I don't know why we're on lightly played. TCG player, what are we doing? How are we lightly played already? Realistically. In a tournament this weekend? I guess that's possible. But we're looking at Hilda, which I do like this trainer card a lot because you have Zebstrika, you have Unpheasant, you got Pig Knight. You got some cool Pokemon here with Hilda. I love trainer cards that have Pokemon featured. Looks like we're going into battle potentially. Pretty cool. 80s to 90s for this card. And then it jumps up here. That's hilarious. Obviously, you're not buying that one. But yeah, reasonable sellers, it looks like, in the $80 to $90 range for Hilda from White Flare. Jellicent, another special illustration rare card. I mean, I know Jellicent has some fans. Everybody has some fans, right? But this isn't my favorite, personally. But we've got listings here, 62 and above, $60 to $70 in that range for Jellicent. Keldeo, absolutely love this one. I really do. And interestingly enough, so sometimes TCG Player, Pokédata, these different things, they have a hard time keeping track of the actual market on a very quick timeline. This Keldeo card is much more expensive than they're listing it for in terms of the market price, right? All these are about $100 or more. Maybe Keldeo is one of these cards that just hits. I mean, I love Keldeo. There's some Keldeo cards that are way cheaper than they should be. I mean, the Crown Zenith version of Keldeo with the Northern Lights, the Aurora Borealis, whatever you want to call it. Unbelievable. To me, this art is also unbelievable. All the colors. You got the texture from the special illustration rare, the waterfalls. It hits. It hits, and a lot of people agree. All right, Chandelure crashing the party as an illustration rare in the top 10 most expensive cards in White Flare. And, you know, we've got listings around $45 to $50 for Chandelure. Very cool card. I mean, I've never been a biggest fan of the not inanimate object Pokemon, right? But Chandelure, Ghost, Fire type, very cool. And obviously, it's just kind of fun. Like, big dinner scene here. Chandelure. We've also got Oshawott crashing the party in the top 10. Illustration rare for Oshawott. It's unbelievably cute. We have looked at this one before. Taking a little nap in the hammock above the water. Gotta love Oshawott. I love that whole line. Samurott is one of my favorite final evolution starters. And we're around $40 here, $40 to $45 for some listings there. And then we switch sides of these sets, and we're in Blackbolt now. Superior is the only special illustration rare of any of the starters from Unova in this set, in these two sets, I should say, right? Superior EX from Blackbolt, special illustration rare. And we are around $50, 50 to 60 for Superior special illustration rare. Very nice card. I love special illustration rares that have greens. They pop, and we've got a lot of different shades of green. We've got blue up here. This is gonna. You got some purple here, yellow. It's gonna pop. That's a nice card. Meloetta, I have seen this one in person. It is beautiful. Special illustration rare from Blackbolt. The Meloetta, around $50 to $60. Most of these listings. Nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. It's a gorgeous card. The colors really pop with the texture in person. And of course, we have Seismitoad crashing the party. This Shinji Kanda illustration rare, not a special illustration rare, illustration rare. And are we on near mint? Yep, we are. Not a lot of listings available, but this is another one that the market price is not actually indicative of where we're at here. Only 2 legitimate listings, it looks like, and they're both at 100 or more. Shinji Kanda, the name recognition. And I mean, it's a cool card. Don't get me wrong. I would not have expected if Shinji Kanda was not the artist and you just told me Seismitoad was a $100 card, I would be a little confused about that. Right? Genesect EX special illustration rare. This is one of my favorite cards in the whole set. Sets. 2 sets. You know, it's just going to be one of those things that continues to happen for me. Refer to them as one set way too often, but it's 2 sets. This is from Blackbolt. As I mentioned, we're rolling through Blackbolt. Why are we on damaged holofoil? I don't know. What are we doing, TCG player? Near mint, we are looking at prices as low as $75 with shipping included. So yeah, I think you're in the $75 to $80 range right now for this Genesect. And this card is just so cool. You've got the flames in the background, looking at Genesect through this like door out on a platform. Genesect is so cool. And like the Genesect card from Fusion Strike, it's just so silly. And that's fine. Some people like that. I think Genesect is badass and deserves a badass card. This is the card, right? It's gorgeous art. Really cool looking. Kyurem EX special illustration rare, sitting about. This is another funny one. Like they have near mint holofoil market price at $102, but we've got a lot of listings. $75 to $80 range. right? Beautiful card. Would love to have this one in the collection. I really wish they did. There's a few cards I wish they did. Black Kyurem, White Kyurem, Getsus. Where are those cards? I have no idea. They have them in other sets, in Scarlet and Violet, but not in this one. Pretty bizarre. And then we've got Ends Plan sitting at about $95 to $100 here. Another one where the near mint holofoil market price is not accurate, but this is by Rend. Rend does the super, like, it's obviously still an illustration, but it kind of simulates that photorealistic depth of field. We've got the super blurred out backgrounds. Most of the cards that Rend does are like that. This is a really cool version of an Ends Plan card, and is one of the most popular trainers that there is throughout Pokemon's history. So makes sense that you're going to be looking at around $100 for an Ends Plan special illustration rare. And that'll do it for this kind of market watch. Again, my advice is always to wait. But as we have seen with Destined Rivals, a lot of the singles are actually going up right now. As we have seen with Greninja from Twilight Masquerade, not every card is going to see a significant dip or a dip at all. We saw little dips with Greninja at the beginning, and then it just was on a rocket ship. Diagonal line heading up. And Destined Rivals has just remained super strong even after Blackbolt and White Flare. I think Destined Rivals is an outlier because it's probably the most hyped full set of Scarlet and Violet, bar none. Non-holiday, non-special set, Destined Rivals is by far the most hyped. So, and not saying that that's unreasonable. There's a ton of great cards from both Heatwave Arena and Glory of Team Rocket that come together in English to be Destined Rivals. But that'll do it here. Really appreciate y'all tuning in. If you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. Y'all have a good one.